You know that feeling, right? When someone's telling you one thing, but your gut, your intuition, is just screaming that something else is going on. Well, guess what? Your gut is onto something huge. So let's dive into this explainer and decode the unspoken story our bodies are telling every single day.
Let's just kick things off with a number that is probably going to blow your mind. Researchers estimate that anywhere from 65 to a whopping 90% of all the meaning in any conversation comes from nonverbal cues. Yeah, you heard that right. The vast majority of what we're all communicating has almost nothing to do with the actual words coming out of our mouths.
So that obviously raises a massive question. If the words we choose so carefully are just like the tip of the iceberg, just 10% of the story, what on earth is the other 90%? What is this powerful, hidden language that our brains are constantly reading without us even realizing it? Well, that's exactly what we're about to find out. Okay, so to really get a handle on that massive 90%, we first have to understand the 10% we think we have total control over, our words. And, as we're about to see, they can be a surprisingly unreliable guide all on their own.
Here's a great way to think about it. Picture your words as the voice of a GPS in your car. It's super useful, right? It gives you turn-by-turn directions, a clear plan to get you from point A to point B. But here's the catch. The voice of the GPS isn't the road. It's just a symbol for the road.
The software that's running that verbal GPS is something communication experts call the Semantic Triangle. It basically shows that there's no real direct connection between a word, a symbol, like DOG, and the actual furry four-legged thing it represents. The only thing connecting them is our thought. It's just a shared agreement in our minds, which is why words can mean totally different things to different people.
And all of that leads to this one absolutely crucial idea. The map is not the territory. A word is just a symbol on a map. It's a representation of reality, but it is not reality itself. And just like your GPS can be outdated and not show a new roadblock, our words can completely fail to capture the full, messy truth of what's really going on.
So, if our words are just the map, what's the actual territory? Well, that brings us right to the other 90%. Let's pull back the curtain on the unspoken story being told all around us.
So while that GPS voice is talking in your ear, you're also getting this constant, massive flood of information from the view out of your windshield. That is your nonverbal communication. It's the real-time, completely unfiltered data. The traffic jam ahead, the changing weather, the pedestrian about to step off the curb. It is the raw reality of the situation.
So here we have it, the two streams of information we are always processing. You've got the GPS, our verbal communication, which is symbolic, abstract, and something we consciously choose. And then you've got the windshield, our nonverbal cues. And this channel is primary, it's largely involuntary, and most importantly, it's the credible reality.
But why? Why do we instinctively trust that windshield view so much more? What is it about nonverbal cues that makes them so powerful they can just completely cancel out the words someone is saying? Let's break it down.
There are really four big reasons. First, nonverbal communication is more primary and instinctive. I mean, think about it. This is deep stuff. A baby communicates happiness or pain long before it can say a single word. These are primal signals, hardwired into us. Second, they're more involuntary. Our real feelings have a way of leaking out through a quick facial expression or a nervous tap of the foot. It's like a tell in a poker game. Third, yeah, they can be more ambiguous. Crossed arms could mean someone's angry, or it could just mean they're cold. It's like a dark cloud. You need context. But finally, and this is the most important one, they are way more credible.
Let me just ask you this directly. If the GPS says turn right, but you look up and you see a giant brick wall right in front of you out the windshield, which one are you going to trust? The answer's obvious, isn't it? You trust what you see, not what you're told. You trust the immediate, physical territory over the abstract, symbolic map. And that is why we believe actions over words every single time.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've talked about the limits of our verbal GPS and the undeniable power of the windshield view. So how do we wrap all this up into a tool we can actually use? Well, let's build our communicator's compass.
So look at our final compass to see the big picture of everything we've covered. 1. Remember words are just symbols. 2. Acknowledge that our verbal GPS is complex. 3. The big one. Always, always pay attention to the view from the windshield, because that's where 65 to 90% of the meaning is. And finally, number 4, when the GPS and the windshield don't match up, trust the windshield, trust the actions, always. You know, what this all really boils down to is that mastering this blueprint for communication isn't just some useful skill to have at work.
It's way more than that. It is a fundamental human competency. It's the key to being an effective, empathetic, and truly connected person.
Which really just leaves us with one final question to chew on. In every conversation, every day, we are literally building our social reality with other people. So are you going to be a passive participant, just listening to the directions from the GPS? Or are you going to be the conscious architect, the driver, paying attention to the whole view and actively shaping the world you share with others? The choice, as always, is yours.